Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. In North Peach, go to Brock and Parish Construction and Roofing. I need to get the greens to match. That's a little concerning there. I tried last night to find the right green from our logo to match this thing, and I couldn't quite nab it. Anyway, yes, we did announce the name of the company to you. I've not announced this publicly anywhere except here, only Morning Scone. Once our website is live, then we'll begin our full live reads and full on social media promotion, all that stuff as well. And we would love the support. So again, it's me, Tilly, Terrio, Joe, Scott, Ty, Christine, our whole crew, same crew that we've been for the last 3.5 years here in Baton Rouge, all just moved into a new entity, parish, with a lot of really fun things to come as well. So we'll tell you more about that. Okay. Hope your Tuesday is off to a great start. Andrus Peat signed with the Raiders. I know a lot of you are going to eye roll, and that's fine. But I am a defender of Andrus Peat in this sense. Yes, when you take a guy 13th overall, you probably expect more than what Andrus Peat gave the Saints, which he never really became a great player. He did become a Pro Bowler with a little bit of an asterisk. It was the 2020 season, and that was, there's so many opt-outs in the Pro Bowl, and nobody really wants to play. And so he was a Pro Bowler as an alternate, but they had to find someone who would play. But the thing about Pete signing with the Raiders is, when you look at the Saints, I'm not sure that they have like decidedly better options, right? So you have McCoy and Ruiz. McCoy at center, Ruiz at right guard. Well, you drafted Taliesin Fuanga, who we're assuming is going to be the starting right tackle, though he could play left. The hope is, knock on wood, is that Trevor Penning wins the left tackle job. And then you have a battle with guys like Nick Saldiveri or Oli Udoh at left guard. We'll see how that all plays out. But that's a lot of hopes and what ifs and maybes and we'll sees. The thing with Andrus Peat is, while he was never like a super dominant player for you, he's played in 111 games. He started 102. He's been a left guard, but when you had issues with Teron Armstead's health or James Hurst or whatever the case may be, or Penning not panning out, Pete kicked out and played left tackle for you as well. So his versatility was his value. And there was thought, because of how the draft went, that maybe you might sign another your free agent offensive lineman. And of course, the other caveat there is, of course, Ryan Ramczyk, who it looks like his career very well could be over. So the thought was, hey, look, Pete knows your system. He's versatile. He can play left guard, left tackle. That's an option there for you. Well, that option's now off the table. So, or the Saints, what'll be really interesting to see with the Saints is, do they go into veteran free agency to add another body, or do they go to camp with what they have and let these guys battle it out? Can Nick Saldiveri win a job? What about Landon Young? Is Oli Udoh a guy that's going to start for you? What side of the line is Taliesin Fuanga? Can Trevor Penning be your starting left tackle? If not, does he start at left guard for you? And does Fuanga play left tackle? Then what do you do at right tackle? Is that Landon Young? You see what I mean? So there's a lot of questions there when you have some bodies, but not a lot of definitive answers. And Pete felt like a bit of a safety net, like a guy that if you needed to bring someone else aboard, if you needed another body, a veteran who knew what you were trying to accomplish, Pete was at. Well, now he's off the board. So the other thing too, LSU baseball back at the box against Northwestern State. Northwestern State's not a very good team this year, y'all. 18-29 on the year, if I'm not mistaken. So not a great season for Northwestern State. Yeah, I'm sorry, 19-28. I had it backwards. 19-28. As a team, they hit 255. Their staff ERA is north of 6. This is a game where you should go out. You should have a lot of success. You should win this game and continue your climb, hopefully toward the postseason with a massive series this weekend against Alabama on the road. Looking at the updated RPI, this is from NCAA.com. Updated RPI has LSU's RPI at 34 after the weekend. So the 3 games against Texas A&M, you increase your RPI by 10 spots. You went from 44 to 34. And then this weekend, you're going to play Alabama, whose RPI is 14, and and the next week you get Ole Miss, whose RPI is 25. So you have opportunities with 6 more league games against teams with RPI at 14 and 25 to boost that even higher. And obviously, you got to get your SEC win total up. So see if they can do that in these next couple of weekends. But first, your final midweek game of the season at the Box tonight against Northwestern State. Okay, y'all do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. If you're new, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there. Fire away. Bill Caffey, morning, Matt. After yesterday's name reveal, couldn't help but combine that the chat suggestion with the actual name and came up with Any Parish Roofing. Have a great week. That would have been Any Day Now Roofing, which we now are telling you is Parish. The official name is Parish Construction and Roofing. And two things that are what I've learned, obviously, in these with a roofing company or as a contract, you have to have like 2 features in the name. So it's like, but you remember HUDCO was HUDCO Roofing and Exteriors. So you'll see a lot of names like that with 2. So ours is Parish Construction and Roofing is the actual name of it. But if you want to say Parish Roofing, totally fine with me. Wendell Norman, what's going on? Tim Gotro, hey, Dad, good morning. Jesse Brown, Dustin DeForge, good morning. Who dat? Trivia Carter, Brett DeGrow, good morning. Brett, thanks for the help. Brett was up on the Bourbon Trail last week and was kind enough to score a few extra bottles and offered to sell me a few of them. So I'm looking forward to making that transaction. Appreciate that, Brett. Another Brett Guidry, morning. Congrats on the new company, Brenda. You got it. Thank you so much, man. We're excited, man. It's a lot of good things coming. And again, there's nothing wrong or animus or anything with HUDCO. They're a great company, and our partnership with them for the last 3.5 years has been awesome. It's just a thing where their leadership, our leadership, would have just kind of different views about how to continue and paths forward and all. So it was like, just probably best if we just split and go a different direction. So super grateful to them. Awesome company, but we're excited about what we're going to do too. So Chosen Kingston, morning, Matt. Need to know your beard routine. My beard routine. Man, you're going to be very disappointed to learn I don't really have a beard routine. It's so odd that I can grow this thick facial hair and hair all over my body, except here, super weird. But I have one of those skull shavers, that I used to shave my head, and I use that on my neck. And so I just eyeball it on my jawline. And then I have a beard trimmer that I put a guard on, and I just, every so when I think it's getting too thick, I just kind of trim it. I was thought about doing it this morning. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Just keep it a little, so it doesn't get too long and thick. So I wish I had more to tell you, man. There ain't no secret. I just kind of eyeball it and, kind of kept it the same length for a while. Leon, good morning. Hate to see Pete leave. Think he was better given credit for. We'll miss him. You know what, Leon? It's a thing where if Andrus Peat was a 5th-round pick, we would laud him as a great player. But when you're the 13th pick overall and you were drafted to be the franchise left tackle, and then they moved you to right tackle and you couldn't play tackle and you moved to guard, just the expectations were greater because he was the 13th pick of the draft. But if you got 100 starts out of, it's why we feel different about James Hurst, right? Or Zach Strief. Zach Strief was never a dominant offensive lineman, but Zach Strief was a 7th-round pick who ended up starting. Zach Strief was a 7th-round pick, made the team, played in 158 games, started 94 of them. I mean, guy made 94 starts, played 158 games as a 7th-round pick. You know what I mean? So that's why we're like, Zach Strief. Well, it's because the expectation is different when you make the team as a 7th-round pick than when you're the 13th pick of the draft. That's why the criticism for Pete has been what it's always been. Vaughn, good morning. Deborah Cowart, good morning. Hey, Brant, a few weeks ago I said, what if LSU took 5 of 6 SEC weekends? Man, they almost pulled it off. Postseason is looking more promising. Yeah, w- I mean, the thing, Brant, we all talked about was with the schedule was that in the second half it lightened up. I mean, that was the conversation all along. Was when you started and you knew you were going state, Florida, Arkansas, Vandy, Tennessee. It was like, oh my god, the second half was going to lighten up, and sure enough, man, you got Missouri and Auburn. Now A&M's tough, but you get Bama and then you get Ole Miss, who's not very good. Um, so yeah, I mean, they're doing what we kind of hoped they would do. The question always was, did they dig themselves too deep a hole? Um, Hunter, good morning, Matt. Say if the Saints go 9-8 again, miss the playoffs. Do you think Dennis Allen gets fired? Yes. If they miss the playoffs for a fourth consecutive year, I think Dennis Allen gets fired. I do. Cajun Country, good morning. Does Lattimore even want to play in New Orleans? I'd say so. Um, I think Lattimore, listen, and I talked about this yesterday, and this came up because Mickey Loomis did a podcast on Mad Dog Radio, and he said he's not actively trying to trade Marshawn Lattimore. The thing with Lattimore is he is undeniably, uh, and some of you may have heard me say this on AFR, or you've seen the social media posts going around. Marshawn Lattimore is undeniably the greatest cornerback you've ever had in the history of your organization, period. That is not debatable. He is the greatest cornerback you have ever had in this organization, full stop. Um, but in 7 seasons, he's played one full season. That was his second year in the league in 2018. Um, so he's had injury issues. And the last 2 years, he's missed 17 games. He played in 7 and 10 games respectively. So he's missed 17 games. He's missed what amounts to a full season over the last 2 years. So you have an enormous financial investment in this player who, um, when he's healthy, is one of the best cornerbacks in the league, but especially in the last 2 years, has not proven to be healthy. And so you draft Kool-Aid McKinstry as an insurance policy. And let's be very clear, it's not just Lattimore. Adebo has over 3 years not proven he can stay healthy either. So you have this giant question mark at corner because of the inability of the players you have to stay healthy. When they're healthy, they're very good. And then you have to decide, are you going to pay Adebo after this year? And are you going to off ramp off of Lattimore after this year? One other thing worth mentioning is the way his contract is structured is that the Saints could move on from Marshawn Lattimore with a post June 1 cut or trade this year and save a ton of money. So um, I understand. I think it was a shrewd move. I mean, I think it was prudent by Mickey Loomis and this team to draft Kool-Aid McKinstry. I mean, I think it was the right decision to pick him. Brant, good morning. Charlie, good morning. Dre Marceau, me and my little boy are going to first LSU baseball game tonight. Anything you'd recommend for him at he's 6? Man, that's so hard for me, Dre, to say at 6 because I really don't know. I mean, I don't know. Our experience, like with Drew, is so different. He's 9, but doesn't behave like a 9-year-old. So it's hard for me to say. I mean, look, I would go take a picture by the Skip Bertman statue for sure because you know what I think, Dre? I think that'd be fun to have one now while he's 6, and then go when he's 16 and when he's 26 and take the same picture several times. And the way that they set up the Skip statue, it's there kind of for that. It's like it's Skip leaning on the rail, like it's on a dugout rail, and so you can go like stand next to the statue and lean on the dugout rail. I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. That would be my recommendation. I don't know if he would care at all to go see the Hall of Fame, but the LSU Baseball Hall of Fame is down the third base line. Yeah, I mean, I think those are cool things to do. So hang on one second, y'all. I got to go push Drew's meds. One second. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. My apologies. The heating pad back on my back. Heating pad back on my back. All right. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Let's see. Jesse, Matt, disappointed Pete signed with the Raiders. Was hoping to bring him back. Is Landon Young a viable guy that can fill in? Maybe. I mean, look, Landon Young's a former 6th or 7th round pick out of Kentucky, who's made the team and been, a rotational piece for you, a special team, tackle eligible type guy, a healthy scratch at times. You wonder, can he take that next step? And, we'll see. I don't know. I think it's a good question, Jesse, but he's one of the guys sort of that should be in that mix I'm talking about that could be vying to win a job. James McKinney, Brett, do you think the Saints move Lattimore after June 1st? I only think they would move him if they got a king's ransom for him. Now, what do you think the market is for him? See, that's where I don't think where it's tough to move him for all the reasons we just said. Because as we always say, if you trade a player, remember, you're not just trading the player, you're trading the player's contract. So it would have to be a team, I think, that would be a team that would be really, really desperate for cornerback help. Like they felt like that was the missing piece. But like, again, Lattimore's contract this year, the cap hit is manageable. The cap hit's $14.6 million this year. That's manageable. The problem is that next year his cap hit goes up to $31 million. So and the dead cap number is 20.6. So how do you trade that contract for an asset? It would have to be a team that's got a very healthy cap situation that is desperate for a cornerback. And I just don't know every team's in the NFL's roster to know if that team exists. What would you get for him? I don't think you'd get what you'd hope to get. I mean, just think about the Justin Fields trade here recently. I guess Justin Fields maybe, theoretically is a disappointing or failed starting quarterback. But that's a former top 5 pick that got what, a 4th round pick, fifth round pick that's or a conditional 4th round pick. I mean, or was it a 6th? Conditional 6th round pick. I mean, I don't think you'd get what you'd hope to get. Like if what you'd hope to get would be like a 1st or 2nd round pick, that ain't happening. I think you'd get like a day 3 pick for him. Bubba Smith. So Brian Gilmore. So the question is like, do you want to just give him away? And the reason you would do that is for the cap benefit. And I don't know that the Saints are going to do that. I think you roll the dice this year, hope he stays healthy, plays great for you. You try to make the playoffs. And if not, you offer him off that deal after this year. Or restructure him again. Chuck Sanchez. What's up, Chuck? Get it? Up, Chuck? Robert Miller. Spurge. Brett. Cheers. Jason H. Morning, Matt. Shoe Gang. Kicks of the day. I haven't put my kicks on yet. I don't know what I'm going to wear today. I need something with navy in it because of the collar, obviously, and the shirt. Gorilla. Only the competition shall perish. Congratulations. Onward to victory. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Michael Cook. What's going on? Jeremy Fontana. Didn't see that many HUDCO signs in the huge hailstorm in Prairieville. Well, there's a good reason for that. We're not operating as HUDCO anymore. So you had that big storm. It was on one hand a little disappointing that you had a big storm like that, which is usually a great business opportunity. I mean, you hate that obviously for the homeowners and the damage and everything, but in the business we're in, usually when you see a storm like that, which happened, a month ago or so, that's a huge opportunity. Well, we had already begun our separation, so we couldn't go out and, do work as HUDCO. So, and we weren't licensed yet as parish. So we were a little in between. This guy can't even grow a beard. I can grow a nice mustache. LOL. You about me or the guy that asked a bit ago? Brent, what up? Brett, do you think the Pels move on from BI? I would, Brett. I'd trade him. As much as I hate to say it, because I think BI is a great player. I think you have a real issue of your ceiling. And, for Zion to have gotten hurt, you go into the playoff series, needing to lean on BI as a one, and he was wholly ineffective. That's really disappointing. I think Zion's proven that if he's healthy, he can be your superstar. So, are you going to give BI a max deal? I don't think so. I think you should look to move him. Ray, good morning. Let's get this one today because they all matter now. No, they don't, Ray. Talking about baseball. Like, LSU could lose today. It's not going to make a lick of difference. You got to go win, and you got to go win in the weekend. You could convince yourself otherwise if you want, but this is all about your final 6 SEC games in the tournament. David Tolson, Nuggets are done. I disagree, David. Many a team have had the fork stuck in them down 0-2. I fundamentally disagree. Kelly Gross, what's going on? Richard Horner, Matt, I think they're going to have to add another veteran O-lineman. I agree with you, Richard. The guy that I've said for a long time now is David Bakhtiari. The last time David Bakhtiari was healthy, he was an all-pro left tackle, protecting Aaron Rodgers' blind side, tore his ACL, had some injury, bad injury luck the last couple of years. But is that a guy who, having basically missed 2 seasons now, could come back and be a bubblegum and duct tape left tackle for you for a season while Fuanga and Penning hopefully grow up, and we'll see. You figure out what you're going to do. But yes, I do think you need to add another veteran offensive lineman. And I think they will, by the way. Damon Gilmore, Rocky Kelly, Matt, after losing Pete, where does our line potentially rank in the NFC South? I mean, I think you've got one of the worst lines in the NFL. You weren't effective last year, and your only 2 returning starters are McCoy, who's been probably a top 10 center in the NFL when he's healthy and been right, and Ruiz, who's one of the bottom starting guards in the NFL. And that's the only thing you've got. Now you're going to tell me you're hoping Trevor Penning is ready to start, and you're going to be starting a rookie in Taliesin Fuanga, and then a giant question mark at the other spot. We don't even know what order. Like, that's an awful situation. So not only do I think the Saints' offensive line is one of the worst in the NFC South, it's one of the worst in the NFL. Timothy Fontenot, Robert Miller, does LSU try to get another defensive line and roll with what they have? I've told y'all the guy they're going after is CJ West, but it's a little complicated there. CJ West, one of the first guys they offered out of Kent State. But again, it's complicated because West has some academic issues. He needs to graduate in August. There's no certainty that he's going to get there, but if they can get him over the hump and graduate in August, then he could be eligible for the fall. But not only does he have to graduate, he also has to pick LSU, which, considering you offered him early and then you redirected your attention to Dominic Williams, Philip Bleedy, Dominic Williams, and Simeon Barrow. Like, can you get back in the mix for CJ West? Maybe, but I don't think that that's a given. Brian Wynn, Matt, thanks for sharing the Upchuck joke. It never gets old after all these years. And I've also told you before, it is because of Chuck Sanchez that we have our Brock sponsorship. Chuck's wife is the lovely and talented Jessica Sanchez, who you see sometimes here. And Chuck told Jessica, hey, y'all should sponsor this. And Jessica's with Brock, and he is marketing with Brock and approached about sponsorship. And that's how we've had this deal for so many years. So I am indebted to what's up, Chuck Sanchez. Luis Alamán. Jarrett Papillon. Good morning, Matt. Sucks in young teams like Minnesota and OKC be successful, and the Pels should be in that same position. You're not wrong, man. The difference in hitting on a player like Edwards and Cat, and missing with AD and Zion, and it's hard to say you missed because AD is a star. He was just never healthy and couldn't get you over the hump, and Zion's never been healthy. So, but yes, it goes to show you what can be done when you hit in the draft. Golden State is a great example of that as well. Like, Golden State was never a destination spot in the NBA, but they drafted Curry and they drafted Draymond. And when you hit, and they drafted Clay, and when you hit in the draft and then you get a veteran supporting cast like Andre Iguodala, and you start winning, then everybody wants to go there. Then KD wants to go there. You know what I mean? It's what happens when you hit in the draft. Anyway. Gorilla was in the tree business. I know the paradox. Storms are great for business when it's a crane job. After crane job, you feel terrible for the homeowner. Love putting it to the insurance companies. Some insurance companies are great to work with. Some are not. Okay, a couple more here with 758. Brett, problem for Mickey and DA trading Lattimore is they're trading for picks they will never get to select. Matt Plavidal, I'm going to miss any day now. Triple D 225. Sunday was the 57th anniversary of LSU pitcher Bruce Bodier's perfect game against Alabama. Oh, very cool. Sweet Matt, dude, I want to tell you, I found a photo in the LSU baseball archives. My grandfather played pitcher for LSU in 1915. That is really cool. 1915 photo. Wow. I'd like to see that. Send me that if you can. Sweet. That'd be really cool. Lowell Cormier, good morning. Manny, good morning. All right, y'all, we are done. As always, please smash the like button, subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate y'all for being there with us always. Shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist. They're the best. This Saturday is the event coming up over at Brock, the game day prep event. I'll be there from 10 to noon over at Brock on Bluebonnet. So if anybody, I know you had to register your young athlete for their free physical athletes teams, all schools. I know that registration ended, but might be worth giving a call over there to see. But I'll be there from 10 to noon on Saturday. Hopefully y'all come out. And of course, Parish Construction and Roofing. Y'all have a great day. Peace.